Hello, kings and queens, and welcome back to Real Talk No Shade with your host, Heavenly Angel. This is the podcast where we tell the truth and nothing but the whole truth. And for today's episode, I want to talk about a very serious topic because I'm noticing not a lot of black families do this, but also a lot of families in general, worldwide, don't do this. So let's get into it and let's talk about this serious topic. Okay, so this topic is starting off on a very serious note because as a black person, but also the black community as a whole, we are always forced to fight. We're always fighting and we're always trying to be strong. Black women always trying to work and stay strong and work through the struggle. Black men always trying to be the rock and can't be seen as weak. We're always trying to fight, always trying to prove ourselves. And when you look back into the older generation, they did the same thing we're still doing to this very day. You have the older generation always working, always trying to fight for their rights, always trying to fight for equality, always trying to fight for something, always trying to prove themselves. And then I had to look at myself also. Not only am I a black person, but I'm also a black female, a double minority. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, this is why we're always having to fight. Because like I said in my podcast before I even recorded this YouTube video, America is the land of opportunity, but it is also the land of inequality. And we're always having to fight, always trying to stay strong, always trying to prove ourselves, always trying to fight to be seen as equal. And with all that fighting, we forget to talk about our mental health, forget to just open up with our emotions. And we do this within our own household. And then we carry the same mentality. We carry the same, we have to be strong. We have to be seen as powerful. We got to be that rock. We always got to fight through the struggle. And we take that same mentality and we carry it throughout our generations, within our own family, within our own household. Because think about it. How many of y'all who are watching this video right now truly open up with y'all family? And I'm not just saying that one cousin that you're very close with. I'm talking about your mom, your dad, your grandma, everybody in your household who sits in a family meeting or just something and y'all just talk about our deep emotions, talk about your emotions and just let your emotions be heard. And there's no arguments being spat out. There's no trying to fight within each other when you're releasing your emotions, because I know that in my own household. Because in my household, we have had our moments where we open up and we try to express our emotions, but us opening up our emotions futurely leads to us arguing or having some kind of conflict. Someone's getting their feelings hurt because we're still fighting as we're opening up our emotions. That's crazy how the fighting mindset continues out through your whole life. Whatever you're trying to do, you're always fighting. Not only are we always trying to fight the black community alone, you're fighting to be the best person. You're fighting to have better. You're fighting to get out of poverty. You're fighting to have this equality. But not only are you fighting the world, you're also fighting yourself. You're fighting your inner thoughts, your inner demons, and you're fighting this battle alone. That's why we need to talk about our mental health, especially with your family. And a lot of teenagers don't do that either. They don't even talk about their self with their family. And that's crazy when you think about it, because teenagers, they're the one who's going through the freaking life-changing, emotional change, that imbalance, just everything. They need that mental talk, that mental help, that guidance the most. But when you think about it, the older generation was the teenagers, and that's why they still have this problem. This is why this problem is continuing. It's not just a black community problem. It's a world problem that we're all struggling, that we're all fighting through right now. And it's because we're not opening up. We're always trying to be seen as strong, always trying to be the best, always trying to be the great. And that's what I was talking about in my podcast, because my family, we don't really talk about emotional health, but we always talk about how we're going to get the best, how we're going to have the best in life. But to have the best, you have to go through a struggle, a process, a hardship of its own. So you're trying to get the best and you're struggling just to get the best. And you're not talking about this struggle with your family, the people that are going to see you rise up, the ones who are going to see you and have your back throughout this process. You're not doing that. And the same thing with foreign families, because I have a very diverse friend group. And like, this is America. We're very diverse as it is. So you have these foreign parents pushing their children to be the greatest, to be the smart, to have better in life. That's why they came here, the land of opportunity. But like I said before, it still has this opportunity. You have to fight for the equality. We don't have that equalness that we really should have, even though this land is very diverse and very full of opportunities. So they're pushing their kids to be the best. They're pushing their kids to be the greatest. But at the end of the day, these kids are stressed out. They're trying to be the best. They're trying to get better, trying to have those A's and B's. And yet the parent is stressing the kids out. And they're not having this mental conversation. They're not having this emotional bond. And that's what I'm noticing also about a lot of Black families too, because we don't open up these barriers, because we don't allow ourselves to be seen as weak. We cause ourselves to just truly disconnect from our family. Our family could be truly stronger than what it truly is, but because this lack of openness, this lack of vulnerability, we are just this hard, complicated family. Not every family doesn't talk about their mental health, but a lot of families don't. And this is why I made this episode, because we need to start talking about our mental health, especially with our family. A lot of families don't even believe in mental health. A lot of families don't even consider mental health being a problem. If you ain't bleeding, then you're okay. And that's not the truth, because you might be bleeding on the inside. And that is called eternal bleeding from the inside. I'm just saying. So let's be honest about our mental health. Let's be honest about our problems. And let's change the way we communicate with our family. Let's change the way we're always having to be strong. It's time to just relax and know that you can't be strong all the time. Sometimes you have to let the things that have been hurting you out, because if you keep them in, they're going to continue to hurt you. They're going to continue to break your family apart, and it's going to cause a ripple. So be honest with yourselves, because this is real talk, no shade. Are you truly opening up with your family? Is your family as strong as it should be? Or are y'all just pretending? Or are y'all just fighting? Fighting to be heard, fighting to be seen. And y'all are still trying to be strong, even when y'all open up. We're always fighting against the stereotypes. We're always fighting against the world. And I say this with all honesty. Open up and let yourself be heard, not to the whole world, but at least to your family. Because they are the ones who are gonna be there, who are there right now. They're the ones that are gonna be there. You're gonna have to deal with them even if they're not there. And I said this as a very young and ignorant child. It doesn't matter, because I'm gonna be gone anyway. That doesn't change the fact that my family is broken, that my family is disconnected, that my family is just not as strong as it can be. And they have been through a lot of hurt. We have all been through a lot of hurt. But that's because we don't talk about this hurtness. And when we try to talk about this hurtness, we're always trying to prove our strong, prove our braveness, our strength. That's not the case. Let's just open up. No one's right, no one's wrong. We're just having a conversation. And when I was writing this script, I was like, how do we even start this discussion? How do we keep each other from hurting each other's feelings? How do we keep our emotions in check as we're opening up our emotions in the first place? And that is, stop fighting. The answer is to stop fighting. Stop trying to prove yourself. Stop trying to be strong. Because at the end of the day, we all are hurt. We're all going through a problem. We're all going through a struggle. And that we have to be viewed as strong. We have to be viewed as capable. Just got to be put aside when it's time to open up our emotions, because you can't be everything and also be hurt at the same time. Now, I also talked about this in my podcast, and it said we try to find ways to heal ourselves, and sometimes choosing the worst ways to heal in general. Mine being dark humor. I feel like that's still a better way to go, but it's still not good. There's always worse ways to heal from some type of pain. And that's what a lot of us do, because we can't have this connection with our family. We can't have this connection with someone within our inner circle, and that causes us to just be hurt on the inside. So for real, spread awareness to this video right here and say it's time to start a discussion with the family. It's time to talk about mental health. It's time to be honest and stop fighting, because at the moment we have been through so much in America that we just need to come together and talk about how we really feeling without hurting somebody else's feelings, because everybody got emotions and everybody is getting offended. So for real, this is Real Talk and No Shade. Leave a like and comment below of what you think about this episode and how you've been doing with your family. If you want to, it's up to you. But like I said, check out my podcast where I broke this longer video into like 4 minutes. I know, right? It's crazy. But for real, listen to that. It gives you the high key points in order so you can understand and just stay with it if this video confused you any way possible. But for real, stay honest, people. And I only speak to the kings and queens of the universe. Tell me how you feel and how you're planning on opening up and talking about mental health with your family. This is Real Talk No Shade, and we have been honest.